Ladies, gentlemen, geeks of all ages, you are now entering BJ's Geek Nation. Welcome.
What's up, everybody? It's the Prodigy from Geek Nation, and we're here. Oh, and Nick. Sorry.
Hi.
And we're here with 6 sealed Theros boosters to do a practice sealed deck for the upcoming PTQ season. You ready to crack some packs, Nick?
Oh, I've been ready since the day I was conceived.
That's a long time. Let's do it. Now, the first thing I like to do is separate all the cards into the different colors. It helps you get kind of an idea of how many of each card type color you have, and then from there we're going to start looking at the best cards we have. Right. So now I like to separate the cards into the cards I like, really like, and then cards that may make my deck but aren't necessarily too good.
So Joe, you've put out all of the cards based on the top are the least likely to be used, down to the second with the cards that are next likely to be used, and then you've got the bombs. And it's looking like you're pretty good in some certain colors. So at this point, what are you looking at? Like, what are you looking at to build?
So now what I would do is I would look at how many cards I'm very excited about in a color. For instance, white only has really one card I'm excited about and 2 good splashable removal spells. So I'm probably going to take these, put these over here as a mentionable, and then just pile up white as probably unplayable. The next thing I would do is then take a look at black. Black has very, very good 2 hard removal spells, which are hard to find, a bomb, another pretty good semi-conditional removal spell, and then 3 gray merchants and 2 disciples, which work very well together. So black's looking pretty good right now, and they have a couple of mediocre cards I can put in there if we run out of playables. Black's looking good. Blue's kind of the same way. Blue has a lot of solid spells. It's got 3 bounce spells here. Sea God's Revenge is very, very good in this set, and 2 Voyage's Ends. A huge flyer, pretty much a hard removal spell in this format, aka Dissolve, being a counter spell. Small flyer, draw spell, and then just good cards to get. Well, no, look at this. We're at Grip Time. We have another bounce spell. So we have a lot of stall, a lot of card draw going along with our other removal spells and our bomb over here. Blue-black could be very good. Now we have some multicolor cards here. Unfortunately, we need red-black to use this one and green-red to use this one. This guy is not too good on the splash. He's a 4/5 haste. Can become +2, or 2/3 haste because +2 +0. He's okay, but nothing super special to splash for. The 4/3, on the other hand, is very good. Returns an enchantment or creature when it comes into play. Let's see if we can splash that if we end up playing green. But let's get into red here. Now red looks pretty good. We know we have our hammer in red and the red god. Oh, wow. Yeah, now note though, the gods are worse than these in limited because they're harder to get actual devotion enough to make them a creature. So they're just playing them for their ability. But the red god's ability is very good. It can pump all your guys and it does damage to them. Then we have 2 creatures here that become 6/6s. Now, any card with monstrosity that gets above a 5 power and has trample is essentially almost a limited bomb. So now all we have to do is find removal. Well, we have 1 lightning strike, which isn't bad. It's very good in this format. And then we have just some solid creatures here, nothing really too special. The Minotaur Lord, again, not too special, but a 2/3 trample for 3 is fine. And we have another Minotaur here, and we can play another Minotaur if we want over here. So we definitely have playables there. Burnished Heart's awesome in this format. You want to get to 6 mana, and it says go get 2 lands. Put them into play, that's exactly what we want. It's probably going to go in every deck. And then we have the green. The green, on the other hand, has 1 bomb. Arbor Colossus. Very, very good. A 6/6 reach for 5, already ahead of its game, and then has an ability that destroys target creature with flying when it monstrous is for only 1 more of its original mana cost. I mean, that's a removal spell plus a 9/9.
The problem I see though is the fact that it's got 3 green in that casting cost.
3 green, that is a lot, and especially if we end up going with black, because black is going to need double black on, well, pretty much every turn. But I've done greedier things in a mana basis sealed. The session says you're going to play 18 lands, and we have the heart. We probably could fit it in. I wouldn't not play it if I ended up playing green. But if you look at green, the problem is we only have 6 or 7 cards that we're going to really, really be excited to play. And really the only ones I really like are maybe that card. I mean, we have mana accelerators here. But if we're going to be playing the black shell doesn't actually need as much mana, and it can buy a lot more time since we have 3 of the gray merchants that drain your opponent's life when they come into play. So from here on out, I think pretty much what I would do is isolate it to either black, splashing either blue or red. or not splashing, but being your second color. You can definitely play a third color in this format if you want. This deck's power level is pretty high, and you can tell because it has so many hard removal spells, a bomb, and a ton of bounce, a good counter spell, and card draw. And usually when I see that kind of a thing, I think, well, I don't need to get greedy because my deck's power level is so high. For instance, maybe if we didn't have, two of these, didn't have this card, maybe we're missing like a couple of these bounce spells, then maybe I'd get a little bit more greedy and maybe splash these guys. Tempered Colossus, I actually like this card on the splash. Most people wouldn't splash it, I don't think, but you only need 1 red mana to make a 6/6. And a 6/6 trample, if your pool's a little weak, and it's a bomb and they have to answer it. From there on out, we will now take the colors that we want to play and just put them into what I call the mana curve. Set all your cards into creatures and spells and build the curve up. Alright, so now what you see what I've done here is I've taken our 3 colors and their best cards and I put them in creatures and spells and I put them in converted mana cost.
So going from the lowest up down to the highest for spells, and then the same thing for the critters.
So at this point, it's up to you. You have to decide how many playables you have and how many bad cards to good cards you have and bombs. Right now, this is a hard decision really for me. I mean, your black is, I think you have to play your black. That's not really a question. You have really good removal spells, a ton of good devotion, and a bomb. At that point, black seems pretty much better than your blue and your red. Now, you might see the hammer, you might see the Perforos and think, well, but look, you have so many good rares, and you have to understand, this card is not nearly as good, Perforos, as good as this Overlord. The Overlord is a bomb, and it will most likely win you the game the turn it comes into play. This card, on the other hand, requires more work than it even looks. Especially if you take a look at our total red mana costs, it's going to be hard to activate that god as far as its devotion. So I'm just going to be playing it as a deal 2 damage when it comes into play. Not the strongest. Blue, on the other hand, has a lot of stall, which we're going to want in the early game because we're trying to get to our 4 and 5 for our Overlords, and then for our hard removal in the back. So I think I would end up going blue-black, and then maybe play one of your not as good cards, but I mean it's never bad if you just throw a good 3-drop to get your curve in. You see, you take out the red here, pull these cards out real quick. You throw cards in where your curve ends up needing cards. When you figure out the colors you want to play. So I'd probably throw that guy in, maybe throw even this guy in. I mean, it's never bad to have an 0/6 wall if you're trying to go late in the game, and you have 2 pretty bomb flyers, and these cards don't need to attack to kill them. There you go right there. Who knows? This is how I would build it. How would you build it? It's up to you. Theros pre-release, Theros PTQ this weekend on the 5th. Hopefully this will help you out. Hopefully that helped you out, Nick. What do you think?
I'm ready.